segment has to do primarily with illegal immigration as well as race in America. And I'm going to say more so race in America than illegal immigration, and how race and racism is fostered in America. Now, there's a new phenomenon that's starting to gain strength. And that phenomena is white people feeling that they are being discriminated against. They feel that way, I believe, because of the browning of America. And as more time goes on, America will become even browner. This is a problem for some white people, and it's definitely a problem for those who believe that they have white privilege, because that white privilege is slowly going to go away. And some of these people are going to cling to it with their last breath. The following clip is an interview with Jose Antonio Vargas, who is an undocumented person living in the United States who has become a filmmaker and who is drawing light and attention to the plight of illegal aliens in this country, but he's also shining the light on various other important topics. Here is the clip.
This country, when we talk about not only the accountability, but also what is now really the mainstream. Mainstream no longer white in America. That is changing. Jose Antonio Vargas, of course, who's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, is launching a new website speaking to that issue that deals with these type of issues and also race in America. He and I had a conversation about his new site, emergingus.com.
How do we decenter white people? They're not the center of the world. Guess what? They never were, right? And yet, the prism in which we look at politics, the prism in which what we consider to be the standard and the default is always from white perspective.
Right.
And guess what? It hurts all of us. There must be a lot of pressure to feel like you're the norm and you're the standard and you're the default. You're not, right? We all are. I'm tired of being your minority, right? I look Asian, my name's Latino, I'm gay, I'm undocumented, I majored in Black Studies in college. I'm actually not a minority, right? We actually are the majority. And so, to me, the struggle here is, how do we get out of these like talking points and stereotypes?
Right.
In this country right now, young white millennials feel, about more than 50% in the we interviewed, right, survey, felt that they're as much a victim of racism and discrimination as people of color.
Right.
Right? Think about that. Young white people, supposedly the most inclusive, the most diverse, feel that they're as much a victim of racial discrimination as people of color, right? So in this country, white people are an emerging racial minority. So how are we gonna deal with that? Like, what does that look like, right? So at Emerging Us, by the way, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're actually doing a sequel right now for white people, and we're gonna focus specifically on straight white guys. If you think about it, the country's only gonna get gayer, blacker, browner, more Asian. Women of all backgrounds will keep leaning in always. So I would argue that what's at stake in the country right now is how much change can straight white men handle?
Ain't much.
It's not a lot. And the thing, but that's a key. But how do we build empathy? How do we talk to the white people who do get it? And guess what? I'm really tired as a person of color to having to keep explaining to white people what the hell is happening. But we need white people to talk to other white people. I interviewed the first ever black man to be appointed to like the federal bench, right? Amazing man. And he said to me, it's not a surprise that you have the first black president, the guy that they used to call boy in the White House. What are they gonna do after that? They're gonna come after you. Right? All the anti-immigrant laws, Alabama, South Carolina, Georgia, which is why it's even more of an imperative for us to figure out how to work together.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's even more of this is why this thing that we're doing for Emerging Us, we are literally going to be to a place that a lot of people don't go to, addressing anti-blackness in the Latino and the Asian community.
Right.
Like, where do we as Asians and Latinos learn how to be anti-black? Who teaches us that? And why do we believe
And
it?
it's taught.
and it's taught. So then how do we not fall into that? I'm undocumented, you know that, right? I am here illegally. You can't hire me. I have 27 lawyers advising me on this, so I cannot be employed, but I can employ people. So that's the only way for me to make money, is to be a job creator. So I actually have, between Define American and Emerging Us, I employ 15 people. I'm a job creator, right? So when people tell me, hey, you're taking away my job, I'm actually giving you a job. We were at the first undocumented only panel at a convention a couple of days ago, and we specifically had a guy who co-founded the Undocu Black Network. I don't know if you know this. There are 600,000 undocumented black people in this country. 600,000 undocumented black immigrants. When did we make immigration a Latino issue?
Right, right.
And why? Why is it a Latino issue? Is it funding? Is it because certain groups want that funding to talk about immigration? Right? I mean, this is a big question, right? In a country where Asian people are actually the fastest growing undocumented population, we don't ever talk about undocumented Canadians and undocumented Germans. The fact that we don't even talk about undocumented black people, who, by the way, are more likely to be detained and deported than any other group of immigrants, right? It's so important, again, that we connect these issues, that we don't silo them from each other, right? So actually on Twitter, check out #UndocuBlack. Right? We'd love to actually figure out how we can get some of these undocumented black immigrants to talk to you guys about how do we talk about this issue more openly, right? And actually expand how we talk about immigration.
So the website.
Emergingus.com, please check it out. We'll have an announcement pretty soon, and what I'm really excited about, Roland, is when the videos come out and rolling, we'd love to partner with you guys to get some conversations going.
No, absolutely. Because, again, look, I keep telling everybody, we ain't going back. Whatever you thought we were last year, 6 months ago, 5 years ago, we ain't going back.
So this one, for me, is not a question of who is the emerging us. It's more of a declaration. This is the emerging us, right? Bill O'Reilly, dude, we're not going anywhere, right? And you got to deal with this, whether or not you like it. You know, Bill O'Reilly said to me on air a couple of years ago, just so you know, Jose, you don't deserve to be here. And I started thinking, well, what did Bill O'Reilly ever do to deserve to be here? People say that undocumented people like me should earn our citizenship, right? And the question I would actually really love to ask every American is, what are you doing to earn your citizenship? Black people have done everything they possibly can. Everything. The question now is
still not fully free Americans. We're technically fully free.
But hey, you had a black president. We're a post-racial America, aren't we? Isn't that what the political white media says?
That ain't flying.
So again, how do we insist on this, man?
Yep.
And we're gonna partner up.
Folks, up next we're talking.
I thought that was pretty powerful, and so I'm going to get that up. And I got to make a public service announcement because I'm pretty much getting exhausted.